going on, everybody? This is the Wisdom Matrix. This is going to be a book based on. This is going to be a video based on a book that I just read, part one of a book that I just read, and the reason why I'm really mentioning this book is because it may have a good effect on you if you take these principles into effect. So what are these principles? Well, basically there's 5 principles that this book talks about. I've talked about two or three of them in some ways. So what are the 5 principles? Well, basically, the first principle is that thought. You don't have to take thoughts seriously. Thoughts are just thoughts. Normally, when you have a thought or an emotion, it becomes becomes a part of you at this point. At that point, it takes you over, and you start thinking like, why am I thinking this? Or something like that. I've talked about this to some extent, but it also, this is why instead of asking, because I have talked about asking the questions like, why is this happening? Instead of doing that, you just realize that it's just a thought, that you don't have to take it seriously. You don't have to listen to it, because it doesn't really mean anything necessarily. And this is how you can get rid of a lot of problems, a lot of beliefs, even because you can just realize that these are just thoughts. These are just opinions. They don't have to be taken seriously. They don't have to be listened to. They're just like points of view. I mean, the same thing could be done for when other people say something, that you may agree or disagree with, or something like that. You don't have to take everything seriously. So the second principle, I'm shortening it all so it doesn't take an hour to talk about it, but the second principle is moods. When it comes to moods, when you're in a low mood, to just don't solve a problem when you're in a low mood, or just don't take your mood seriously, because it's just going to make your mood worse, and you're going to be thinking why is this happening? What is causing this? And so you're going to end up making it worse. I've talked the opposite, what is causing this, which can be helpful if you're interested in the mechanisms of the mind, so to speak. But for the most part, it's really not necessary to do that. So you just realize that your mood is just a mood. It doesn't have to be taken seriously. You don't have to ruminate on it or anything like that, and not to make decisions while you're in that mood, because you're gonna make decisions that may not be the best decision, given your mood at the time. So that's pretty much the second principle. The third principle is that we all live in separate realities. Basically, what this means is that my reality is going to be different than your reality because of thoughts and moods and feelings. And that's why it's important to realize this, because if you don't, you're going to be like, well, why is this person doing this? He should be like me, you know? And so you end up making things worse for yourself and relationships. And so if you embody this principle, you just realize that, you know, they're living in their own separate reality from you. You know, just because you think things should be a certain way, you know, doesn't mean it should be to them, because to them it might be completely different. So this is why, you know, you shouldn't take your moods or your thoughts seriously, because if you do, you're going to ascribe a meaning to them, or accuracy or truth to them, when they're not, may not necessarily be that when it comes to thought. And the fourth principle has to do with feeling. Basically, your feeling is your guide to if you're functioning healthily or not. Like if you're feeling low, it means your thoughts are in a place that you probably should not take those thoughts seriously, and those feelings and whatnot, or not the feelings, but thoughts and the mood. Don't take the feelings seriously and the thoughts. You know, just focus on the present moment. So basically, the fourth principle is just to, for you, feelings are like your guide or your compass. So if you're feeling down or low, it's because your thoughts are in a place and you're taking your thoughts too seriously. So that's your warning sign, I guess. And the fifth principle is something I have talked about here on this channel. You know, focusing on the present moment. So a good way of doing this is to just like a good way of embodying this principle is to really try and like notice the present moment right now, like what's happening around you. You know, you're watching a video right now of me talking to you. You might be hearing sounds in the background of this video, or whatever it might be, and then notice the feelings that you're having when you're paying attention to this present moment. You're thinking about this present moment, and then think of, you know, something that you have to do later today. You know, maybe some problem that you're dealing with, and notice if your mood changes. This is why the fourth principle is there, because your feelings and your moods are your guides. What am I thinking about? Well, if I'm not contented or happy, it's probably because I'm not in the present moment. So that's basically the 5 principles. I pretty much covered it. I just wanted to make this video because I haven't really talked very much about these, and I think that it could be important to embody these, because I have embodied a little bit of them yesterday. I will add too that, you know, I think this works with a lot of things too, not just, you know, happiness and sadness, but with like beliefs and things like this, because your ideology, your certain point of view can be what's causing, you know, lower moods and anger and stuff like that as well, because you're focused on this one thing, and when it doesn't happen or whatever, you're going to get angry. And that's just inevitable. You're just gonna inevitably get angry because, you know, you're not getting your ideas met. It's just gonna happen eventually. So, just a warning to, you know, be aware of that. I know this is how you can, you know, remove your beliefs about things. just realize that these are just thoughts, that they don't have to be taken seriously. That just because I'm thinking something doesn't mean that it's, true or right. It just means that I'm doing something that, we all do, we think. So, there's a lot more that I could talk about with this one, but I think I pretty much covered it. So, anyways, this is the Wisdom Matrix. If you like this video, please like it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the future. And, another thing to add, I suppose, too, is that you can use the slowing down technique that I talked about in one of the other videos that I made. So the importance of slowing down, or whatever it was called. And this is how you can be more attentive to what you're thinking, because when you're slowing down, you have to be more aware. Like, am I slowing down, or am I still going the same speed I'm going before? And then you have to be more conscious. And then you can ask yourself, am I thinking of things that that is getting me in a low mood, or a happy mood, or a contented mood, or whatever. And so slowing down can be like a helpful guide as well. Because often when you're not slowing down a little bit, you're not in the present moment. You're thinking about the future, or thinking about something that you want to do, which is pretty much what thinking about the future is. So, anyways, this is the Wisdom Matrix. If you like this video, please like it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the future. And if you got some kind of benefit from this video, share it with other people so they can get the same kind of benefit as you did. This is the Wisdom Matrix. I'll see you in the next video.